who are like, why do I need to know this? I have a calculator. And the teacher's like, you need to learn it. To me, it was like, why do I need to know this? I have a spell check.
For sure. I feel you. I feel you. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. These are two players who, I mean, just based on what I've seen from Jjeams, this guy looks nutty. So I'm really excited to see how these two players are going to clash up. Have you ever seen these two players play? Or...
No, I have not. But Jjeams already coming out looking a little less aggressive than we've seen him before. And I think that just, he knows the matchup. Just understands you can't just go running into R.O.B.
It might be he knows the matchup. It might also be he knows the player. Yeah, because I feel like when you play against maybe somebody who you don't think is as experienced, you can kind of afford to just kind of run over them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. With your safer, less punishable, habits or whatever you want to call them. In this case here, you're right. I definitely see a lot more reserved play coming out from him. Almost kind of like what we were seeing from Bowtie when he was playing against Stux. So let's see how Jjeams will approach this here.
One
nice
thing
confirm.
Like Jjeams does a lot is the falling boomerang as he's returning to stage. It's something I think a lot of opponents don't expect, but he'll get that, and he'll get some confirms off of it too.
For sure. I just feel like every projectile that this character has leads into something.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts. Oh, great option call out there from Nectar, recognizing that, Jjeams is putting in a little bit too much aerial pressure in his shield, and he's kind of just saying, hey, get off me, bro,
Yeah. Oh!
This is insane. This is a really, really nice game. So even in terms of stock here right now, I think Nectar's definitely got the advantage with some nice center stage. That's the thing that's weird about projectile characters. Sometimes it's okay if they give up the center stage because sometimes their game plan relies on staying away from you, making you come to them, right? So it's always interesting to me to see that kind of dynamic play out.
Aggressive recovery, getting up with the bow and arrow. Gets a hit, but good DI from Nectar, pulling back, not allowing him to get a confirm off of it. But now owning center stage is Jjeams, following up with the bow and arrow. Tries to get tries to get another bow, but not gonna do it. Nectar staying up high, doing what R.O.B's doing, able to use kind of that use some of that rocket boost to kind of set themselves up and take a little bit more time stalling out in the air. That's one thing that R.O.B has the ability to do, is just think a little bit longer while he's recovering than others might.
For sure. And something I'm seeing here that I actually like that Nectar's doing is the way he's using his top, rather than kind of setting it up for a potential combo tool, he's using it as a sort of interrupter, right? So I feel like he's learned a little bit of the pattern that Jjeams is going for in terms of his projectile game, and I'm seeing him using it sort of preemptively to like stuff out one of the boomerangs or the arrows. And so I think that's exactly what you want to be doing as R.O.B, have that quick tool to just kind of put out there and interrupt, the combos that he's fishing for. So
good job by Jjeams there, not getting too aggressive off that side B. I think he saw that he could go in for something a little bit more, but decided to stick with the boomerang. A little bit of a safer option. Didn't end up connecting with it, but also didn't get punished for it. And because of that, they're tied in stocks now, but Nectar with 96% on him. Jjeams in the driver's seat moving forward, but like you saw earlier, and just the nature of R.O.B, able to just come out and delete stocks if he needs to. So while Jjeams has the lead, it's being erased as we speak.
Very rapidly, yeah, this is insane. I mean, this is one heck of a reversal coming out from Nectar, and so, oh my, he really wants that. He really wanted to just end that game right there, man. This is insane play coming out from Nectar right now. I was going to compliment the movement of Jjeams, but after watching the last 20 seconds here, the movement of Nectar is crazy. Just the way he's been positioning around these projectiles, his dashes and everything.
Air dodge. Yeah, that's one. We have not seen a confirm like that, or we have not seen that forward smash all game until right there. So really good awareness by Jjeams, pulling that one out when it counted, finishing it off. Jjeams up one game over Nectar in this best of 5.
And these are very, very, I agree with Cages. These are very entertaining players to watch. I mean, Nectar just really a master of his character, and I think we're seeing that from Jjeams as well. And it's just so cool to see two people who really know what they're doing. Like, not only are they good at their characters, but they're good at the game too. And it's always just an absolute treat to watch that.
Going right back to it, the run back, no time taking it all in the lobby. Maybe we should have taken some time in the lobby because someone did do something. Thanks for the arrow right there, Jjeams. Needed to have that extra second.
He wants the stream time, man. I respect that. A guy like him, why not? I mean, heck, he's got a new fan out of me, so.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and also throw it out there. Sorry, Nectar, but I think the red R.O.B is the worst R.O.B. Finish
Wow.
I know. I know.
Wow.
I know. Hot take. I know.
That is a hot take, bro.
I'm a fan of the powder blue, Rob.
The blue's pretty clean. I think
Yeah.
OG Rob is nice too.
Actually, you know what? The dark green Rob's not so good either. I'll go ahead and say red Rob's.
Oh yeah, that one's kind of puppy. I agree. Yeah.
I do like the blue, the water tunic link though.
I think it's clean.
Yeah.
It's a cool look. It's a cool look for sure. So are we actually playing PS2?
Yeah. What happened?
It looks like it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Either way, we're getting into game 2 here of winter semifinals. So I honestly can totally see why Nectar would want to run it back. I don't even feel like he was at a disadvantage. It was just Jjeams made some better plays throughout the course of the game, and that's how we arrived at our final destination, so to speak. So. Curious to see what. Hey. You know what, Craig? I'm just trying. Man, I'm trying to throw off my vibes, homie. Come on, man. But I'm really curious to see what kind of adaptations Nectar's going to make throughout the course of the set, because you're right. Jjeams definitely playing a lot more reserved, and I think Nectar's got to find an answer for that. Like I was talking about earlier, the way he's been using his top sort of defensively has been working out for him, but I think there's another part of the equation that he needs to figure out.
And Jjeams has just been able to, most of this damage he's been putting on him has just been from boomerangs, arrows, and neutral arrows as a follow-up. So Nectar getting kind of the percentages adding up to him, but looks like Jjeams so far is having a little trouble getting in and finding a way to finish it out. Of course, once the percentages get up high enough, that gets a lot easier, but it's going to make the game a whole lot harder for him to win if Nectar is able to consistently stay alive to, upper 100, 200%.
Sure, and I think one of the things that the Links have that they do so well, more so Toon Link and Young Link, is that they're able to very easily, rack on damage. Sometimes they can struggle to find a kill, though. That is one of their downsides. However, I think Young Link isn't as down bad to say in that department, because if he gets one projectile hit on you, it can lead to a killing forward air or a killing nair. So it's just about finding those opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
good awareness by Nectar.
Yeah, great coverage all around. I think he recognized very early on that Jjeams was going to go for that bomb to reset his jump or reset his up B, and he was able to just capitalize on that. So really, really good awareness there. That's pretty cool. A little combo there off the platform.
Yeah, just that's one that I think is a lot of Robs have in their back pocket. You don't see it too often because it's not one of the more impressive, powerful kill moves, but I think that's a good, safe one to use. Is the up air. Sorry, the up throw to forward air.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see the up throw too often unless they're in kill percentage, to be honest, though.
Right. Or you're trying to land in that top platform of like Battlefield, say.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the falling up air from Nectar. I didn't want to see a nair. He didn't go for it. However, that option just was not enough to actually manage to land on Jjeams here. So I like that. Something I've seen is that Nectar's using a lot more side B, and it's been working out for him pretty well. Obviously, if you time it right, you can reflect the projectile with it, but also it's a great tool to kind of like, I guess, keep your opponent honest, so to speak, right? Like if they've been used to shielding a single hit aerial, you go for that side B. If they slip up for even a second, they're getting caught with the rest of the move. So
that was an interesting way to be launched from that down air. Oh, falling out of that one, Jjeams. Good awareness, though, not trying to overextend himself on that combo. Falling with that boomerang connects with the bow and arrow, and good awareness again. Just realizing that up smash was coming, getting out of the way barely by it. Boomerang coming in, knocking Nectar out of the way there, so he's not going to be able to finish anything. And the neutral air from Jjeams able to stage spike him to finish it off, and a high percent on stock number 2, but a 2 stock nonetheless. Jjeams taking game number 2.
To answer Lucy's question in chat, Young Link is a pretty good character. I would say, I mean, where are they usually at on the tier list? They're probably like a high tier, maybe on the lower end, but still a high tier, I would say.
Probably.
Yeah, they're a solid character. They've got a lot of good options. The projectile game is insane. The confirms are really nuts with the character, right? So many of their attacks can be chained off of the projectile to the point where damage can add up very quickly. I think the downside of the characters are pretty obvious. It's just a light character with a very exploitable recovery. Besides that, though, combo game's insane. Damage potential, insane. It's just about finding those. It's about finding the stocks and not getting edge guarded. That's what you have to do if you're a young Link.
We're going to a smaller stage this time.
Yeah, and I think this is something that I kind of wanted to see Nectar do more of, right? Is that smaller stage can work out for R.O.B pretty well because they don't really have a lot of room to run around and play around from your beams and your tops. So maybe we'll see, you know, an adaptation that he needs here to get himself back into this set because right now it's looking tough. And unfortunately, I think that's just the fault of the heavy characters in this game is that if you get caught up in combo game, it can be really tough, you know?
Yep.
Especially when you're up against a character that's so prone to using, you know, 40-50% combos. It's like it's even easier to hit on a big target. So you really got to be mindful about how you're playing your neutral game.
Bow says Young Link is top 10. Don't listen to the Young Link agenda.
All right, early stock there for Jjeams. Only 81% on the board for him. You got to be feeling pretty comfortable if you're him right now. However, this is that's gone. Yep. I was going to say, that's what I mean about that exploitable recovery, you know?
Another thing Bao said too is the Nectar don't use side B every 10 seconds challenge. And I think that did get him into a little bit of trouble last time, but I think that the side B has been helping a little bit just because of the ability to reflect it and because a lot of times Jjeams is going for some of those attacks that could be a little bit more exploitable by the side B, like the boomerang, like the bow and arrow. Oh, I thought, I was like, he's going to get back, right? For some reason, I thought he was further down than I thought.
I love the positioning of the top Nectar use. He's noticed that Jjeams has kind of been doing this neutral get up and shield. So he kind of put that top there to really make Jjeams think about his option there at the ledge. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to capitalize on the jump from ledge that Jjeams went for, but I do like the adaptations I'm seeing from Nectar, and I think he needs to do more things like that to bring the game back in his favor.
Cool.
What is it called? The laser, the Nectar. What is that? I don't know what that move's called.
Is it not just called laser?
I guess it's just laser.
Call it. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's like Hyper Beam 2.0, man. I don't know.
Silly laser.
Silly laser.
Yeah.
Oh, that should be a killer. Yeah, and that's something I noticed at the end of the second game we saw where Nectar went for the up air. I think he kind of respected like an insane mash coming up from Jjeams at 150%. Even if you have a really good mash, you're probably still gonna you might start to get out of the ground, but by the time you're getting out of the ground, you're still getting caught in the up smash. And so I think at that percentage, it's a lot more consistent to go for the up smash as opposed to the up air. I think the up air is probably more reserved for like, you know, middle percents, like let's say 50 to 80%, where most players are able to mash out pretty quickly. And you want to capitalize on that. So, but I think right now we're just seeing, Nectar's making great use of the smaller stage, and he's calling out the I've noticed Jjeams
ledge guard and ledge trap we're seeing right here. Jjeams is not get out of disadvantage.
I think right now Nectar has caught on to Jjeams, a bad habit I'm seeing where Jjeams is going for very, very quick options at the ledge. He every time he got to ledge, it felt like he made an option choice very, very quickly, and I think it all kind of stems back to the thing I made note of earlier, where Nectar put that top on the ledge, right? He made Jjeams think about the move. He never went for that same play ever again, and I think Jjeams got a little bit too comfortable going for those early options at the ledge, and every time Nectar was able to get a punish off of that.
Yep.
And we just saw it was literally rinse and repeat. It was Jjeams just couldn't play the game. He was just stuck at the ledge for like that whole last stock of his. So
Nectar trying to bring it back here. Takes one game. He's down 1-2 against Jjeams in this best of 5.
Kind of curious what stage choices we're going to see, because I think PS2, it's not off the table. Like Nectar can bring it back there, but I don't think he wants to. I think he wants to go for a smaller stage. So I guess at this point, your decision's got to be, you know, do you take a smaller stage that's probably going to have platforms, or do you opt for a more moderate side stage that might not have the best layout that you want? Because I think if you're Nectar here, I think a big stage will be the death of you. Because you got to consider, right? We're dealing with 2 projectile characters. One of them is a lot faster than the other, a lot more mobile as well. So,
and we saw it. I mean, I think he realized that going and taking him to the small field.
Small field.
After we saw him play against him at PS2, which is you know, conversely the largest platform in the game. So not in the game, in competitive meta. You want to talk about large platform? Let's go to like Newport City. Let's do that.
For sure. All right, so game 4, interestingly enough, is going to be the PS2. So this is an interesting choice by Nectar. I'm really curious. Maybe he feels like he's just figured out something in the player matchup. You know what I mean? Because like we can always talk about the matchup of the characters, but the player matchup is a big element of it too. You know, you really get a feel or a read for your opponent. You know, you might be able to take that and use that to your advantage on certain stages. So let's see what he opts for here. Nice side B use there. I think that's the way you want to be using that side B, is sort of the way to catch the projectiles and generate some offense for yourself. Wow, yeah. Nectar, he's in gamer mode right now. You see that parry on the up B?
Yep, straight into that tilt.
Goes for the silly laser. Doesn't find anything off of it, but
Silly laser.
I totally agree with what KJ said earlier. Just two very entertaining players.
Yeah.
And this is just a treat to watch.
Forward grab, or a grab to a forward throw, and Nectar recovering, throwing that top out just to try to cover some of his options, floating a little bit longer, and the boomerang, and you're able to get him with the reflect the bow back into Jjeams.
Oh, so
Trying to go for that side B. Yep.
narrowly missing that.
Side air.
And good awareness there by Jjeams, landing with his aerial, saying, hey, you know what? I've seen Nectar use his up smash out of shield. Let me make an adaptation. Let me just hold my shield a little bit longer than normal. And actually able to avoid that and get an up smash punish of his own. So good first stock there by Jjeams. I think he's got a relatively sizable lead for himself. So
And Jjeams trying falling down with the boomerang again. Nectar's starting to catch it, starting to stay in shield a little bit longer than he might, given Jjeams' trajectory as he's kind of coming down aggressive. You see Jjeams come down on top of Nectar quite a bit.
right, landing with those aerials. I mean, a lot of them are very safe. Good, good range on them too. The sword obviously not as long as some of the other swords in the game, but it still adds a nice little disjoint to it. And I really want to, I guess, sort of compliment. Jjeams' recovery has been very good this game. I feel like what we saw in Game 3 was that Nectar was really capitalizing and getting a lot of punishes on the recovery of Jjeams. And right here, Jjeams has just been able to navigate his way back to ledge safely multiple times. So I think Nectar's got to figure out something right there because, again, as I mentioned, the weakness of Young Link is that exploitable recovery. And if you can't capitalize on it, you're not going to have a good time.
Oh! That was a little bit of a mix-up. No one expects R.O.B to go for that.
Look at the chat. Go misses Glop. Who's Glop? Who is that guy?
Glop.
Who's that guy that raided me the other day? Who was that goofy?
Goofy man.
Nice up smash out of shield there by Jjeams. I don't know. I feel like this was a mistake choosing the stage for Nectar. I really think, like we saw, the smaller stage worked out much better for him, and so I'm thinking it's questionable to take Jjeams back to PS2. But oh, was it?
Yeah, Nectar won last time.
Wait. I thought Jjeams won Game 1 on PS2.
He did, and Game 2.
Oh,
There's no DSR.
Oh, okay. I thought there was DSR. My bad.
Nope, no DSR.
That's why I was confused. Okay. Well, then I guess it's strange that Nectar didn't ban the stage. But either way, he's evening it up. So I mean, I wouldn't say that he's completely out of it just yet, but the damage is adding up rapidly. I feel like Nectar is going for a lot of aggressive plays here that are not working out for him. Good spacing on the forward airs there, able to get a little bit of extra damage, and again, nice use defensively of that top. So if he can get a stray nair or a stray top, he might be able to get something going for himself here, but it's looking like Jjeams is just all over him right now.
Well, Jjeams is in kind of that mode right now. He's like, at all costs, just avoid being thrown off the stage because he's seen what Nectar can do once he gets put off.
For sure. That's going to be it, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice little confirm from the boomerang into the forward air. So I wouldn't say it was a completely dominant game, but I do feel like over the course of the set, Jjeams just looked like he had a lot more control over the situations. So good stuff to him, taking the game or taking the set